Botox mistakes to stop making. This is going to be a really enlightening video for those of you who may be getting injections and not even realizing you're making these mistakes. I'm Dr. Azadeh Shirazi, a board-certified dermatologist, which means I love helping people achieve their best skin. I'm also the founder of AziMD Skincare. So I've been injecting Botox in patients for over 15 years, and I'm going to share some of these common mistakes that I've seen in my practice so you don't fall into the same trap. But before we get started, guys, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, and share this with a friend because sharing is caring. A common mistake I see people make is they wait too long to get Botox. Once those lines are really deep set, and once those creases have now become folds instead of fine lines and wrinkles, then it's really hard to reverse some of the effects. Also, Botox, because it keeps the skin from crinkling and moving, it almost freezes the skin in time. We are now doing less eyelid lifts or doing them much later than we used to because Botox has prevented that skin from stretching and causing droopiness or excess skin of the eyelids. I was at a conference a year or two ago, and this guy was presenting his research where he looked at stroke patients which cannot move half of their face. And because they're not able to contract those muscles, CT scans showed the half of the face that the muscles were relaxed allowed for the bone to be better preserved than the other half. A lot of people don't realize that bone loss in the face can contribute to aging because that is your scaffold. That's what the skin is draped around and all that soft tissue lays on. So that bone structure is really important. So don't wait too long. I see women coming in their 60s and they've never done Botox, but now they want to try it. And unfortunately, we have to now do lasers and fillers to give them the same effect. So if you start to get Botox when you see those lines going from dynamic lines, which means lines that only are there when you're expressing, like frowning or raising your eyebrows, but now you see the lines, even if you're not making those motions, those lines have now gone to static lines. And that's really when you want to start investing in Botox. And you know what? Not everybody has all the means to just get it done all the time. Even if you get Botox once or twice a year, but pretty consistently over time, you're gonna see less of those lines. It will not be as deep as if you never got Botox in the first place. Now, you may see people on TikTok wearing those patches, that helps prevent you from frowning. It's not a bad idea to do. You're trying to train that muscle not to work, so it's a reminder not to frown or not to raise your eyebrows, but the Botox is going to be much more powerful. Now, the second mistake I see people making is getting too much Botox. I know I just told you to get Botox, but now I'm telling you not to get it. So really, it's a fine line. It's not the poison, it's the dose. You don't want to overdo it, particularly if you start getting Botox in your 20s. You don't want to be going in every 3 months and getting, these injections, because eventually you're gonna thin out your muscle. At some point, when the muscle hasn't worked or contracted for a number of years, I'm talking 5 years, 10 years, because you've just been consistently getting your injections, then that muscle starts to thin because it's like any other muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. So make sure that you are taking breaks and you're waiting to go in for your Botox when you see the muscles move. So if you can frown and you're starting to get wrinkles, let that muscle work a little bit. You don't have to be rushing to your derm's office and getting injections. Let that muscle work and regain some strength, but not enough to get super strong again. So number 3, not paying attention to your muscle dynamics as you go along in your Botox journey. I know a lot of people will start to get injections in the glabella, the forehead, and crow's feet, but what happens is because you can't use those muscles over a long period of time, you get recruitment, which means you start to see muscles elsewhere, like the bunny lines or some of the stragglers on sides of the forehead start to get stronger and stronger and stronger because of the process of recruitment. So you want to pay attention to how your muscle dynamics change as you stop using certain muscles over a period of time. You may notice this on people where they start to get really strong in the forehead lines right above the forehead, because they really have been preventing this area because they've avoided getting Botox injections in this part of the muscle to allow the eyebrows to lift up. Well, guess what? Over time, this muscle, this part of the muscle is really going to get strong while the other areas are getting weaker. So it's really important to pay attention to that muscle dynamics. A telltale sign is the bunny lines. If you've been getting the glabella, after a while, this is going to get stronger. So when you're laughing, nothing moves except these wrinkles. And that's a telltale sign that somebody's been getting Botox for a long time. Nicole Kidman used to be a prime example of this, but now I think her injector has adjusted her Botox so that she doesn't get over contraction of her bunny lines. Number 4, injecting too much in the forehead, because people think, okay, I'm going to get a smooth forehead, but then what happens if you overdo it in the forehead? You get dropping of your brows, because if you take your forehead and you smooth it out, you know, that eyebrow moves down. So just be cautious that the smoother the forehead, you know, certainly the less lines, but that is your lifter. So the forehead muscle is what helps lift the brows. So if you knock it out completely, you're gonna see lower set brows. Another mistake is going to someone who does Botox the same way for everybody. So make sure your injector really understands the muscle anatomy and movement and studies your muscle and injects the Botox in a way that's very customized to your facial expressions. Because as you guys know, everybody has different facial expressions. We all frown differently or move our eyebrows differently. A really good injector will be able to study the muscle movements and really customize your injections, because with Botox, different dilutions work differently, different muscle groups work differently. It's all a play of muscles. Some muscles pull down, some muscles lift up. So if you knock out the ones that are pulling things down, guess what's going to happen? It's going to lift. So understanding that dynamic is really important. And the last mistake is only using Botox for wrinkles, because there's so much more it can do. For example, it can help soften wrinkles around the mouth or help prevent them. And that's something called a Botox lip flip, where traditionally in younger patients, we use it to help flip that upper lip up so you can see more of it. But as a side effect, it also helps prevent the smoker's lines, because when we speak or when we make facial expressions, for example, if you blow a kiss, you're gonna see those lines around the mouth. Everybody always calls them smoker's lines, but you don't have to be a smoker to get them. They can form over time as we lose collagen. There is a muscle called the DAO that pulls the corners down and gives you a really sad face. But when we use Botox or neuromodulators to relax that muscle, guess what happens? The muscles on the other areas pull the corners up. So you can't frown, which means your corners get lifted. A lot of people get dimpling of the chin, which leads to little etched lines over time. And we can relax that chin dimpling and soften the chin contour and make the skin a lot smoother by using a little Botox in the chin. Grinding. A lot of you clench and grind, and this can cause bone loss. It can affect your teeth and shifting of your mouth, which generally can contribute to sagging and aging. So be sure that you're not clenching and grinding, and if you are, Botox can help relax the masseter muscles, which are the muscles on the sides of the cheeks, and that helps prevent the trauma to the jaw and the teeth. As a side effect, it can also help slim down the face, another use for neuromodulators. We can also inject Botox along the jawline and on down to the neck, and this is called a Nefertiti lift because it helps lift the jowls, makes the jawline more defined when the neck muscles are not pulling down on this part of the face. You're gonna get a nice lifting effect. It can also help with, you know, the platysmal bands that you start to see in your late 30s, 40s. It can help reduce them and help just smooth out the neck skin. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful and gave you some insight into what Botox can do and the mistakes you should avoid making. Check out my other videos that talk about skincare mistakes, and don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, and share this with a friend. Until next time, bye.